जया, वैसे तो जो आपके कार्यक्रमों की फेहरिस्त है, जो लिस्ट है, वो लंबी है, लेकिन मैंने पढ़ा कि आपको मौका मिला अटल जी के सामने अपनी प्रस्तुति देने का। इसके अलावा आपके आपके दर्शकों में, श्रोताओं में एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम साहब भी रहे। तो इस तरह के जो कार्यक्रम आपने किए, उनकी कैसी यादें हैं? वहां क्या कुछ आपने खास प्रस्तुत किया, और कितना मोटिवेटिंग रहते हैं इस तरह के कार्यक्रम एक कलाकार के अपने संगीत सफर में?
तो Delhi में I had the opportunity to perform in front of Atalji and his cabinet ministry, where there were also other dignitaries present, like Swami Dayanand Saraswati and the two Shankaracharyas of Kanchi. It was a Kanchi Mahaswami festival. So both the acharyas, Shri Jayendra Saraswati as well as Shri Vijayendra Saraswati, were both present. It was a very memorable kind of an experience doing this, but honestly sometimes कहते हैं ना, ignorance is bliss, so it is good. मुझे कभी वो fear या the feeling of I'm performing in front of these people, वो that didn't happen. वो significance मुझे शायद पता नहीं चला उस वक्त, तो which is good. Otherwise that fear would have come in the way of performing. But it was just like another performance. But I realized, because when I would see all the drama of the security and all that happening, तो लगा कि it is something. But it was a very joyful, nice experience. None of them made me scared or made me feel intimidated कि I'm performing there. They are such nice human beings, and I think they all have an appreciation for art, which comes through in the way they even speak to you. Though I was a child then, but they were so humble and they spoke so beautifully. And the fond memory of that incident was Swami Dayanand Saraswati coming up and saying, you have Ma Sharada's grace on you, and I hope it continues to grow. I feel very blessed with that. Abdul Kalam ji, my God, what a man. I got to sing in his presence, I think, a couple of times. I was, fortunate enough to have sung when he was, even before he was the President of India. He's such a humble and such an unassuming human being. It's unbelievable. Nothing changed, even before he was a president, and he was exactly the same after he became one too. So after he became a president, I had sung in Rajkot. I think it was Gandhi Jayanti, and I was invited to sing Vaishnava Janato. And it was like a huge gathering of about 10,000 students, and he had come to talk to them. And it was a very different kind of an experience, seeing that entire ambience and to be able to perform there. The only question he asked me was, are you a science student? And I said, no, I'm not. But of course, nothing changed. He was a scientist, and all he could think about was science. That was his passion. But he is also a great musician. So he understood art, and he had a great regard for Indian classical art form. So these people are very encouraging, and they are very nice to young artists. So I think despite me being a little kid then, they were all super unassuming and super kind to me, and that is something that has stayed in my memory. I think meeting these kind of human beings who've achieved so much yet are so humble and down to earth and unassuming makes a lot of difference as a child, as a young adult, because it kind of molds you into the kind of person you want to be. So I think for me they were great inspirations, and I feel really grateful to have performed in front of them at a young age.
अच्छा, मैं आपका जो परिचय है उसमें एक चीज बताना भूल गया कि आपने फाइनेंस मैनेजमेंट की जो पढ़ाई की है उसमें आप गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट भी रही हैं। तो ये जो संगीत के साथ साथ जो पढ़ाई का जो संतुलन है, जो बैलेंस है, वो कैसे किया जाए? क्योंकि अक्सर जो बच्चे सीख रहे हैं हिंदुस्तान में, उनकी शिकायत रहती है कि ज्यादा रियाज कर लें तो पढ़ाई में दिक्कत होती है, और ज्यादा पढ़ाई करें तो रियाज छूट जाता है। तो आप क्या टिप्स देंगी, क्या करना चाहिए बच्चों को?
So there are numerous examples of great artists who have also been extremely good at academics. So ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है कि you have to pick one or the other, and if you do one, the other will suffer. That's not true. Growing up, I did a lot of things. At one point, I remember I was going to college. I was taking some coding classes at NIT. I would also be learning to play the Carnatic violin. I was taking Hindustani vocal lessons. I also had enough time to read, to participate in other cultural activities, and I was regularly performing concerts at that time too. And I still felt good about the whole thing. I never felt burnt out. I never felt, tired or the lack of time or anything. If anything, it just felt very productive. I guess that was the most productive phase of my entire life. See, end of the day, it's all about focus, right? You improve your focus and concentration in one thing, it's going to benefit the other. So if you are able to focus and spend some time, doing riyaz with that much of concentration, that concentration will also help you study better. So I feel any art form and academics is just complementary, if anything. It's never going to take one away from the other. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're a kid, when you're growing up, you have a lot of time on hand. You don't have responsibilities. As you start growing old, you have to worry about cooking, cleaning, laundry, family, blah blah blah. But as a kid, you only have to worry about yourself and taking care of the things that you need to do to make sure you're progressing well in life. So use the time well, and if you do not distract yourself with all the means of distraction that we have today, like the phone and the various gadgets, iPad, everywhere there is messaging, there is something or the other going on. If you spend a little less time on that and try to focus a little bit more on self-development, you cannot even imagine the amount of time that will open up to do so much more. So use this time well. This is your time to learn, to be able to do a lot of things in life. Because as you're going to grow older, the time is going to be less, the responsibilities are going to be more, energy is going to be less. So use this time really well.
अच्छा जया, इस इंटरव्यू की जो सीरीज शुरू की थी आप, धीरे धीरे 1 साल से ज्यादा वक्त हो गया, उसमें एक गुजारिश होती थी कि कुछ एक मेडले जैसा आप सुनाइए, कोई एक राग पर आधारित गाने आप ले सकती हैं, या अलग अलग राग के भी गाने ले सकती हैं, या गाने ऐसे भी ले सकती हैं जो प्योर राग पर आधारित ना हो, लेकिन कुछ मुखड़े करके 5-6 गानों का एक मेडले, आपके पसंदीदा गाने जो हो वो हमें जरूर सुनाइए.
So medley, I'm just going to put together 3-4 songs in my favorite rag, Rag Yaman. I hope you enjoy this. Janani, Janani, Jagami, Agami, Jagatkarani, Paripurani, Jagatkarani, Paripurani, Janani, 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 Janani. एहसान तेरा होगा मुझ पर, दिल चाहता है वो कहने दो मुझे, तुमसे मोहब्बत हो गई है मुझे, पलकों की छाँव में रहने दो, एहसान तेरा होगा मुझ पर. जानकी जानी रामा, जानकी जानी, करने निधानम नाहं जानी, मोक्ष कवाडं नाहं जानी, जानकी जानी रामा, 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 जानकी जानी रामा. तुम आशा विश्वास हमारी, तुम धरती आकाश हमारी, तुम धरती आकाश हमारी रामा, तुम आशा विश्वास हमारी. जिंदगी भर नहीं भूलेगी वो बरसात की रात, एक अनजान हसीना से मुलाकात
अच्छा, आप यूएस में बच्चों को संगीत सिखा भी रही हैं, तो इससे जुड़ा मेरा प्रश्न यह है कि वहां पर जो भारतीय शास्त्रीय संगीत या कर्नाटिक म्यूजिक को लेकर जो क्रेज है या जो उसकी लोकप्रियता है या उसको लेकर जो लोगों में गंभीरता है, वो कैसी है, वो आप हमें बताएं।
So I feel that when we stay so far away from our own country, we feel like we are missing some link. So we try to overcompensate in a lot of ways, honestly, which is why we see so much of cultural activities happening here, especially in the Bay Area. I sometimes forget I'm not living in India. The kind of cultural events that keep happening, not just with respect to the popular form of music, but hardcore classical as well. So Carnatic classical, Hindustani classical, instrument, dance, there are like schools flourishing. There are so many teachers, wonderful teachers teaching, imparting this art. Everybody wants to learn. So I do not know even a single family with a child is not learning some form of Indian art or whatever. Regarding teaching kids here, so I teach kids as well as adults, but with children, many of them do not even speak the language, but the efforts that they put into to make sure the diction is correct, and the efforts that they put into understanding this art form is amazing to see, because nobody can push them to do it, right? They either do it on their own or they quit at some point, but so many of them take it to a different level. So which is why you see a lot of artists from the United States who are like young artists who are so popular now, who are upcoming and performing so beautifully. So it's so awesome to see that. So it really doesn't matter whether you're in India or you're not in India, but if you really have the passion for it, I think it just it keeps you going. And as parents, I think people really put in a lot of thought and efforts into making sure that the child is exposed to Indian art forms, and they take them to concerts, they bring them to all kinds of school-related activities where we have Baithaks and annual recitals, and people participate with so much joy and so much love for music. It's beautiful to see that. So 10 years of teaching, and I'm so proud to see some of my students doing so well. And मुझे कभी लगा नहीं था कि इतना I would enjoy teaching so much, and I would be in a different country teaching people to connect with our roots.
जया, आपने हमारे लिए वक्त निकाला और बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आपने हमें बहुत अच्छी बातें बताई, बहुत अच्छी चीजें सुनाई, तो आपका धन्यवाद करें। इससे पहले चलते चलते एक गुजारिश यही करेंगे कि कोई एक चीज जो आपके हमसे छूट गई हो, आप बताना चाहें, या कोई एक ऐसा गाना, कोई ऐसी रचना, कोई ऐसी बंदिश, कोई ऐसा राग जो हम चाहते हो कि आप हमें सुनाना चाहती हो, वो आप हमें सुनाएं। उसके बाद हम आपको एक बार पुनः शुक्रिया कहेंगे।
So let me leave you with Nirvana Shatakam, Sri Adi Shankaracharya ji's Nirvana Shatakam, one of my favorites. I love to sing it, I love to listen to it, chant it. This one has been set to tune by Veenatai. She set it to 6 ragas, different ragas, is a ragamalika. The first verse she set it to Rag Yaman. I would just like to sing that. Whenever she performs this piece, it just transports you into a different world. The sheer divinity and the beauty of it is simply amazing. So I would just like to leave you with that. मनोबुद्ध्यहंकार चेतानि नाहं, मनोबुद्ध्यहंकार चेतानि नाहं, न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं।
तो जया, जैसा हमने कहा था आपसे, आपने हमारे लिए वक्त निकाला और वाकई बहुत मजा आया इस बातचीत में। आपको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। आप यूं ही 7 समंदर पार रहकर भी भारतीय शास्त्रीय संगीत की महक को कायम रखें, उसको फैलाएं, ऐसी हमारी रागगिरी की शुभकामनाएं हैं। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Shivendra ji, thank you. The pleasure is all mine. I'm so thankful for this, this chat and to be able to talk about my musical journey. But I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on Raaggiri and the beautiful work that you're doing in spreading awareness about Indian classical art forms among the younger generation. It takes a lot to kind of give up a full-time job and to be able to completely immerse yourself into spreading awareness about Indian classical art forms. So kudos to you and your team. I'm just grateful that you found my music and you reached out and we were able to even get connected and talk more on this. So my best wishes to you and to the entire team of Raaggiri.
ये वीडियो आपको कैसी लगी हमें जरूर बताएं। इस वीडियो के कमेंट बॉक्स में जाएं और अपनी राय रखें। इसके अलावा रागगिरी को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल नोटिफिकेशन जरूर प्रेस करें, जिससे जब भी हम कोई नया वीडियो लेकर आएंगे आपके पास जानकारी यानी नोटिफिकेशन पहुंच जाएगा। आप वक्त हो तो तुरंत देखें, नहीं तो बाद में भी इस वीडियो को देख सकते हैं। हम आपको बता दें कि रागगिरी भारतीय शास्त्रीय संगीत के बारे में जागरूकता फैलाने का एक मंच है, जो एक रजिस्टर्ड ट्रस्ट है और 2014 से हम छोटे बच्चों के लिए खास तौर पर ये मुहिम चला रहे हैं, जिसका टाइटल है सुनेंगे तभी तो सीखेंगे।